Today I'm on my way to the north. Bremen is my destination. I'm meeting a man here who has made the energy revolution a personal matter. Holger Laudeley. On the way to his company, I already learned just how seriously the electrical engineer takes renewable energy. Our drive is powered by electricity alone, but that's not the only surprise of the day. The view of the rooftops of the Laudeley company in Bremen shows the direction. Here, everything is powered by the sun. By now, I've claimed a name for myself. I say I'm an Energy Plus person because I produce more energy than I can ever use. By now, everyone can do this because the technologies to do so are available. Everyone is really in the position to determine for themselves just how much they pay for electricity in the future. And the Bremer businessman truly sets a good example. On the roof of his building, there isn't any room left for even one more solar panel. Now the electrical engineer has a rather ingenious idea for turning as many people as possible into energy producers. His vehicle to do so is a technology called Plug and Save. They not only can catch the sun's rays, but also have a built-in inverter. Some even have a built-in energy storage device. It couldn't be any easier. If every person were to buy 1 or 2 panels, we would save 40 billion kilowatt-hours of the 150 billion kilowatt-hours that people of Germany consume privately. This would in turn relieve the power supply networks and also make it unnecessary to ever expand them. The energy revolution has to be won on the streets. And with this in mind, Laudeley's team is working to convince one person after another. Because these all-in-one panels are not just for homeowners. With them, even ordinary tenants can become power producers. Have you already had many information booths here? In this area here, we've already done 2 to 3 information booths over the last month, and we've had decisive success with them. People are very enthusiastic. They say this is the only chance we have as ordinary people to generate electricity. When you tell them that you don't do the installation, do they say, we can or we can't do that? No, many people first say, we can't do that, we need help. But we tell them, you don't need any help. It's just like an IKEA cabinet. Everything's all in there. Just plug and save. People can do it completely by themselves. It's the only way for everyone to be able to use the power. What do I do with it? Just plug in the socket. Then we have to wait a few seconds, and then we can see by the meter that energy is being collected. I just plug it into the socket. Yes, you plug it into the socket, no problem. So as you see, it's cloudy now, and nevertheless, and we're in November, there we can see a delivery of 28 watts right now. And exactly the amount of power generated here just now, that we just saw here, is needed by and consumed in the customer's own household electrical grid. This is the energy revolution for everyone. With Plug and Save, we have created a product that is fit for the mass market and where, for the first time, we have the opportunity for everyone, including a tenant, to generate electricity, namely electricity from solar energy, economically and without any excess emissions or major problems. That being demonstrated in front of a hardware store is taken hold here in Bremen bit by bit. And up here, they even have a nickname for them by now. Locally, they call this form of everyman's power production balcony power plants. It is the firm opinion of the citizens of this Hanseatic town that it's your own fault if you ask your landlord for permission to hang one up. My balcony is my balcony. That's the motto of the self-confident citizens around here. In addition, I would also like to urge that we as citizens now begin to rebel against the big power corporations. Yes, that's what I want, that we manage to put the large corporations in their place. And this doesn't have to remain just a dream. Because with this technology, the number of domestic energy producers can be easily and massively expanded. It is the simplicity that makes this solution so seductive. Since all panels come with all the technology already on board, all you have to do to supplement your own power grid with additional energy is to plug the panels directly into a local socket. Many tenants have dreamt of exactly that. Yes, of course, home builders do have the advantage that they have the space. But if you take away a flower box and just put up a panel and install it properly, then it's all okay. You should really consider, for example, giving yourself a panel for Christmas instead of a tie or something like that. What's decisive is the meter, and it simply turns slower simply because less energy is needed and the rest is just used internally. And so, this gives you options that you wouldn't otherwise have. There are many variations, and they all are nice because they all reflect on the invoice. Holger Laudeley no longer really even knows electric bills. 6,700 kilowatt hours. We were accredited 3,900 euros. That is, of course, insane. Our new advance payment due for this year, €1. That's natty. That means up here that you earned a credit of 50 euros and paid everything else. Everything else is paid. Yes, it's crazy, isn't it? And that is renewable energy. It's the only way to go. You can forget about everything else. Things are also moving forward for homeowners. They should have as much control as possible over the electricity and be able to use it economically to their own advantage. For that, they must be able to store energy. Modern storage systems are no longer just a battery. They also contain all the required technology, including an inverter. At the moment, I don't need any electricity from the power company. You can see that here. Up on the roof, we have 1,096 watts right now. We're at the end of November, so it can't get any darker. And today you produced almost 100% of your own power. You can't really do any better. That's the advantage of an intelligent home power plant like this. It can't be topped. No, wonderful. All right. These are people who basically want to be independent. We no longer use the words investment return in our sales pitch. That's over with. The people who approach us want independence. It's mostly private homeowners, somewhat better off, who want a device like this. Above all, what you have to keep in mind here is that the whole thing requires a lot of consultation and advice. Everyone who thinks they can just go sell it like they used to sell photovoltaic systems, that's over with here. You have to talk to the people, you need to analyze the power consumption costs, you need to analyze the house, which appliances are in the house, how the house is lived in, and how many people live in it. All that has to be analyzed, and then you can select the correct device to use.
The
sun shines, and why shouldn't we use the sun? And then there's also the possibility of storing the energy in a battery, so as to be self-sufficient. Independence. I actually found it a good starting point. The customers also explicitly ask, what do I have to change nowadays? How do I need to change my behavior? We've dealt with the topic of solar self-sufficiency the entire time and offered photovoltaic systems. And what was actually interesting from the beginning was how people always asked, in what ways do I have to change my behavior? Our answer has always been the same. Wash and rinse your dishes when the sun is shining. And the great thing about it was, not only I changed a bit, we're a 4-person household here, and we've all changed. In other words, we really do aim to save electricity. So we have also looked to see where we can make small changes like turning off things on standby. As for the power supply, our electrical use has basically changed a bit. We basically told ourselves, when the sun shines, it's time to turn on the washing machine or the dishwasher, so as to also use the electricity available right then. And the battery, it naturally gets charged at the same time. That's for in the evening when the sun is no longer shining. Then the house is still provided with power, but from the storage unit, from the battery.
Ja, mich treibt eigentlich dahin.
What actually drives me is that I can see how the whole world is slowly going down the drain. We're governed by lunatics, and now we all have to decide for ourselves, what can I do in the future? So many years ago, when I first started with renewable energy, I set a goal for myself. I want the 4 big power companies to collapse. That's the banner I want to wave, and that's what I'm working on today. And Holger Laudeley is definitely serious about that. In the Bremen region, he is convincing more and more people to install their own renewable energy generation systems for the immediate supply of their own electricity. And that is indeed an energy revolution, and the best kind of energy revolution. Although the electrical engineer is of course a businessman, he does not see himself as just that alone. Indeed, Holger Laudeley can rightly claim to be one of the movers and shakers of civil society, one of those people who use their own energy to push society forward. And it is clear that Holger Laudeley's energy is 100% regenerative.